walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. Healing in my heels, healing in my heels, healing in my heels. I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. Healing in my heels. I learned to walk on my own. I never asked for anyone to teach me. I just watched, I listened, and I was supported to walk.
Hey everyone, welcome to TeaTalk, another episode. I'm so happy to see you. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing my robe and my bonnet. Definitely a relaxed moment. And I did want to promote Kayor Promotions. They actually did a wonderful job on my bling bonnet, so I wanted to showcase it today. This topic is about exes. It's called Dear Ex. I decided not to have any guests. I actually did ask one of my ex-boyfriends to join me, and I think he still has a thing for me. So he was kind of like, you know, I don't really want to do it. I want to keep my love life private and whatnot. So he wasn't too comfortable sharing some relationship stuff on camera or even like on YouTube for everyone to see, which is understandable. So I said, okay, no problem. I'll just do it myself. So let's get into it. Let's talk about a challenge. Let's see, what's my first challenge question? I'm looking to my right because, as you know, I'm always pulling up new challenges and things to learn from. So, and I like my stuff to be kind of on the fly. I don't like to program or, you know, structure is good, don't get me wrong, but I don't like to have something that's boxed in. I kind of want to wing it so it's more authentic, so it's more real, so y'all can feel me, you know what I mean? So, okay, would you rather, so let's see, would I rather be 20 minutes early or 10 minutes late? So challenge questions are, would you rather? I'm going to go with 10 minutes late. I'm usually about 20 minutes late, but that's only because the party don't start till I walk in. No, I'm just joking. It's usually because nothing starts on time, and I'd rather get there when things is popping as opposed to like getting there and everybody's looking at each other in the face. So yeah, 10 minutes late would be my answer. Would I rather my shirt be one size small or 3 sizes big? Whew. I'm gonna go with 3 sizes big. You know why? Because I can adjust that. I can put a brooch, put a pin, I can tie it up, and you know, I can do a lot of things with a bigger shirt. When it's too small, I don't want to be looking like I'm shopping at Baby Gap. So let's go with 3 sizes big. And another challenge question would be, would I rather lose my sense of taste or my sense of smell? I did not look at these questions before I did it, but thank you. Shout out to Sarita for sending these to me. Okay, sense of taste or sense of smell? Since I'm always trying new things with dieting, and I recently started looking into keto, but that's another show. I'm gonna go with don't want to lose my sense of smell. I need to know what you smell like, honey, because the smell can tell you a lot about somebody. Like it can let you know if they bathe. If you're talking to somebody whose hygiene is poor, I'm not trying to be mean, you know, but I'd rather not taste. And so I could probably lose a couple pounds because food don't taste the same, but I need to smell you. I need to smell you. So we'll leave that right there. So in terms of Dear Ex, I'm just going to be real with you and tell you a few funny stories that happened to me in my relationships in the past and what I learned from it and what I would like to say to my exes now versus what I didn't say then. So I'll tell you about this one time. In my 20s, I was dating this guy and he was really sweet, really nice. I mean, and sometimes they can be too nice. But you don't want nobody to treat you like terrible, but sometimes when they're too nice, it's almost too good to be true. So this guy was super too nice. He was super sweet. We were like childhood best friends. So we grew up together. Finally, we started dating. One day he's like, baby, get dressed. We going out. So I'm thinking, okay, we gonna get dressed, getting ready, doing my thing, do my little face and everything. And so I go to pick him up, which was an issue, which I did not speak up about that. But you know what? Sometimes Men are temporarily inconvenienced. I had a car at the time, he didn't. So I'm dressed, I go pick him up. So we get to driving now, getting on the highway. I'm like, where are we going? He's like, just keep driving. We drive, he's giving me directions. I'm like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. We're stopping by the church. He was like, yeah, we're going to stop here. I'm like thinking he forgot something, whatever. So we get to the church. I pull up. We get inside. I'm looking good. Thank God I didn't wear anything short that day. I was dressed. So I'm like, hey, pastor, hey, first lady. Turns out they had a meeting with us. I said, we're meeting with them? I thought you said we was going out. He was like, we are out. I was like, oh. So we get inside the office and he literally says, maybe not in these words, but he literally says that he is there to ask for my hand in marriage. And I was like, how do you want to ask for my hand and you didn't even check to see if you have my heart? Like, we were dating and I know you for a long time, but I just felt like some girls would think that's so sweet, that's so cute. But the pastor looked at him and was like, you don't have a job. How are you going to have a wife? If I could have shrunk into part of the carpet fiber, I would have. I felt so stupid, so small. I'm embarrassed. Like, I was like, wow, like he really brought me in front of the pastor to ask for my hand in marriage. So what I learned from that was, honestly, I should have been the one to tell him my requirements. I'm okay with someone being temporarily inconvenienced with a car or a job, but honestly, I knew that I was dumbing down my standards to date him. And I knew that he was head over heels in love with me. And I knew that it probably wouldn't work because he didn't have the right work ethic. Okay. Not saying that he was broke or anything like that, but I just knew that our drives and our ambition didn't match, you know. And I'm not married, haven't been married, but I do strongly believe in that whole equally yoked thing. And I don't think it's just about saved or unsaved. I think it's being equally yoked in terms of one person's load, because to me a yoke is something that's tied around a mule's neck. And so if I'm gonna be working, we both need to be physically, spiritually, ambition wise, all that needs to match so it doesn't feel like one is bearing more of the load than the other. So that's something that I should have said to my dear ex. He's a great guy. He actually went on to get married. And, you know, I did notice that just because you and another girl might have dated the same guy doesn't mean you're dating the same person. He could be a completely different guy for a different woman. Maybe you didn't bring it out of him. So with that, I learned that I definitely should have spoken up before the pastor did in terms of telling him what should be expected of a man when he's dating someone like me. Knowing my value is not cocky, but it's definitely knowing what I expect. Moving on, fast forward, almost 10 years later. So I have my baby, my youngest child, who is a year old. Getting back into the dating scene, and I meet this guy, super nice. All of a sudden, he he tells me that everything was going good, you know, like he has a great job, owns his own home, all the boxes checked. Okay. Definitely not too good to be true. Like, we had our little issues, but nothing that we couldn't work out. So I was like, this is awesome sauce. So all of a sudden he tells me that, you know, he's not like in love with money, but it means a lot to him. And say we got married and somebody said to him that your wife is beautiful and I would like to sleep with her, that he would have a conversation with me about it if there was money on the table. Yes, you heard right. That if someone was offering money to sleep with his wife, he would have a conversation with his wife. That could have been a joke, but I feel like there's a lot of truth in the jokes that people tell. Somebody could find axe murder funny. For me, I'm like, get thee behind me, because jokes about murder is not funny to me. So some people have a certain sense of humor, but I didn't take that as a joke. I really thought that was some indecent proposal stuff he was talking about. And I felt like, wow, you love money that much that you would sell your wife, maybe your family, that kind of thing. I took so serious. I was like, he's not for me, because money is important, but it's not the most important thing to me. It's not more important than my family and the people I love. So that was a red flag for me. Maybe I took it too serious. Comment below, let me know. Maybe the man was joking, but for me, I was like, no, you ain't finna try to sell me, honey. And you ain't selling me no crap about like, money doesn't mean that much to you, because I feel like if you're gonna marry somebody, you're a bride. Christ loves the church like his own bride. And I ain't never seen Jesus sell the church or its principles for nothing. Not nothing. He went to the cross and laid his life down for us. So I feel like I want a husband that reflects that type of love, not that someone can name a price. And come to find out, like, he did value money quite a bit. I see it in his actions. And a lot of the times too, getting into what I would say to my exes, a lot of the times I played a very independent mother-like role, because I felt like a lot of the times they would use what they've done for me against me. And I would like to say to my exes that I'm sorry. I apologize for not letting them be the man they could have been, because I was too busy being woman, hear me roar, that type of thing. So I do have to look into that for future relationships. And I would say to my exes, part of me being so tough was because I didn't want it used against me. I would also say to my exes, the super dope, super nice ones, I would say, maybe a little bit of daddy issues caused me to want your approval, your acknowledgement. And that wasn't your onus. That wasn't your job. A lot of the self-work that I've done now makes me confident in who I am. I don't look to someone to validate that. It's nice to get a compliment. It's nice to hear you say what you say, but it's not something that I depend on to measure how our relationship is going. So for future reference, I don't really depend on that. And in the past, I would say to my exes, like, anytime I was frustrated with us not having, conversations where it's about you adoring me. I am a Leo, so I do like that. But, the times I got frustrated and you were like, what's wrong? It probably was about my need for validation that is linked to daddy issues, where I didn't really get that from my own dad. So that's something I would say. What about the times that we as women date guys because it's comfortable? Like, I have never smoked a day in my life. No heat, no judgment to those who do. Okay, I'm a Christian, I believe, but I would never infringe my beliefs on you. But I ain't never smoked a day in my life. I do sip on some wine now occasionally. Just started getting into that because I'm grown. But when I noticed that one of my exes actually drank to the point where he was getting inebriated at parties, or I noticed that his eyes looked a little low, I knew he wasn't for me. So what about the times when we actually see someone, no, he probably won't change, no, he's probably not for us, but we still kind of entertain it because we don't want to be alone, or because of our daddy issues, or because whatever our reasons are? What about those times? We need to start as women to be more upfront about what we expect, because men will tell you. They will say, I don't like weave, I don't like a lot of makeup. They are very clear a lot of the times. And I'll have to have a man on my show to see if they even have issues where they don't mention something they don't like about the woman. But for me, we said in the last show, there's a way to have a conversation without it being like, this is my thing and this is what I expect. It doesn't have to be bossy, but a conversation. So we should never pick someone that we know is the complete opposite, that probably won't change, or that has completely different views than us, just because it's comfortable, or just because we don't want to be lonely, or even put up with things, because sometimes we don't see who they are in the beginning, but we shouldn't have to put up with things just because we don't want to be alone. That's something we definitely need to make sure. So bringing it back to the topic, dear ex, I apologize for picking you when I knew that you probably wouldn't change and that I would outgrow you. And you should never get into something where you want to change the person. You should like who they are, to the point that if you don't love them sometimes, you still like them as a person. That's what I think. I'm not trying to be mother love. I'm not trying to be Monique, my sweet babies. But I am telling you, you definitely should be with someone that if you don't like them if you don't love them all the time, you sure enough like them. because that'll get you through the tough times, you know? And there was something I was watching on, what is it called again? Black Love. And the guy was like, you can keep on changing partners, but you're still the common denominator. So for me, I'm like, my mom always says, wherever you go, there you are. And even one of my exes said, you got to stop running. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I can't run from certain things and think if I'm with somebody else, he'll bring this out in me. Or if he just wasn't right. You can't blame everybody for everything. So for me, I am now centered in who I am as a woman, bonnet and all. I am centered in who I am as a woman and what I believe and what I like and don't like. And I'm not running, and I'm not shying away from parts of me that I think might even be hard to love. So I feel like instead of changing partners, the reason I've been so cautious with marriage and relationships is probably because I feel like it's forever. And I feel like even if the person I'm with evolves and changes, which is something we're supposed to do as humans, then I will still love them in every season because the work is for me. The work is for me to do on myself, not trying to change that person or change who I'm with in general. It's about making myself more available for the person I'm with. That's why relationships are super not selfish. And that's why I feel like they should be entered into carefully, not to be taken lightly. Not so much so that you're scared to get into a relationship, but definitely that you're cautious instead of giving your heart away all the time. Because when I love hard. So that's basically the show in a nutshell. If you think of something that you would like to say to your ex, be it admitting something or even something you want to get off your chest in terms of telling them, like, why did you do that to me? Because some of them are very narcissistic, and that goes for males and females. So, if you dealt with someone who's narcissistic, a lot of the times, whatever they do wrong is your fault. So you want to really watch that as well. So if there's something you want to address, or if you feel like there might have been another topic about exes that I didn't cover, definitely holla at me. I want to appreciate all the support and kind words, and the viewers and the subscribers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, follow me on Instagram. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love to hear about it. And I'll see you next week.
I strut, I walk, healing in my heels. That's my rhythm, healing in my heels. When I heal myself, I heal the generations that follow. I heal my understanding of being a woman. I heal my memories and purify them by creating healthier memories, exploring possibility through my imagination. I heal my inner